Welcome to Stirling, one of Scotland's smallest yet most fascinating cities. With its cozy atmosphere mixed with a rich historical heritage and beautiful scenery, it's easy to see why it's nicknamed the Gateway to the Highlands. So whether you're about to study, visit, or live here, I'm your host, the Charismatic Traveler, and I'm going to share with you 5 interesting things about Stirling that will make you blend right in with the locals. Let's get into it.
Fact number 1. Stirling used to be the capital of Scotland.
Stirlingers are very proud of this fact, even though it's not entirely accurate. You see, back in the Middle Ages, Scotland had no official capital.
During the Wars of Independence, when the legendary heroes of Robert the Bruce and William Wallace led Scotland to fight off the English, the primary seat of power was constantly moving to be in the best strategic place. And due to its geographic location, Stirling and its castle happened to be one of the strongest positions to hold.
In fact, a common saying at the time was, "He who holds Stirling holds Scotland." Pretty epic.
It's for all these reasons that Stirling can be said to have once been a capital of Scotland.
But it's not the only one. Dunfermline, Perth, and Inverness have also shared this prestigious title in the past.
It's only after the Wars of Independence and the assassination of King James I in 1437 that Edinburgh became the main royal residence and site of parliaments.
As a result, becoming to this day the only capital of Scotland. Oh, and fellow historians, feel free to add a little comment down below to add more details, or simply to let me know if I'm totally havering.
Fact number 2. Stirling has lots of charity shops.
If you've never been in the UK before, you might discover the fabulous world of charity shops. They're the place to find hidden gems. Anything from clothing, books, appliances, and oversized rats, you're guaranteed to find what you're looking for, and all at very cheap prices. It's especially a great opportunity for students to get some good deals on decent quality items. And on top of that, every item you buy is essentially a donation that contributes to a good cause. It's a win-win.
It's also convenient for many international students who, after graduating, might return home or move abroad elsewhere, and therefore will need to get rid of a lot of stuff that they have acquired during their studies. So if you have some furniture, clothes, or any other items still in good condition, charity shops are a great place to dispose of them instead of throwing them in the bin.
And for a small city, Stirling has a surprising amount of them. I count 10 charity shops in its center, so whether you're donating items or buying new ones, you'll be spoiled for choice.
Fact number 3. The oldest football in the world.
This third fact is certainly going to please any football fans watching.
Do you mean soccer?
I mean football fans. If there's one thing the Scottish and the English can agree on... Let me do that again. The only thing the Scottish and the English can agree on is on their mutual love for football. And pubs. And fish and chips. Actually, those are quite a few things. But back in the 16th century, football was very different. The spiritual ancestors of the sport were more akin to games of battle royale. Bruised muscles and broken bones is how it was described in this anonymous Scots poem. And while this ancient form of football was mostly played by the common folk in the streets, there are several accounts of football being played by the nobles. You will be surprised to find out that what is believed to be the world's oldest football in the entire world can be seen here in Stirling at the Stirling Smith Art Gallery and Museum. Made from cowhide and a pig's bladder, this small leathery football was first discovered hidden behind the Queen's Chamber in Stirling Castle in 1981. After being tested, it was found that this ball was just over 400 years old, which meant that it was created in the 1540s, right around the time of none other than Mary, Queen of Scots herself, and found in the same exact bedroom she would sleep in. We can therefore very well speculate that Mary, Queen of Scots could have very well played some games of amateur FIFA with it. But what we do know for certain is that this seemingly insignificant leather football would outlive all the people who have used it to finally end up stage center in our local museum.
Fact number 4. Stirling is mostly a student city.
You might be surprised to hear that Stirling is to this day one of only 8 cities in Scotland. The rest are all considered to be towns. Now, in Scotland, the difference between a town and a city is at best opaque. There's no real reason that distinguishes a town and a city other than its particular status. And it's certainly not a matter of size, since Paisley, another town in Scotland, is close to 70,000 residents compared to Stirling with only about 38,000. But despite this seemingly small population, a big chunk of it is in fact composed of students. Over 14,000 students, both undergrad and postgrad, go to the University of Stirling. That's close to 40% of residents. According to the university's website, over 30% of students are international, coming from 140 plus countries in the world. In other words, yes, the university is very proud to showcase their globalized student environment. What they're less likely to showcase is that because of this high student demographic, rent prices can be ridiculously expensive for such a small city, especially compared to the neighboring towns. So if you want to learn more about the truth of renting a flat in Stirling, let me know in the comments down below, and it'll be my pleasure to make a video.
Fact number 5. The Stirling Wolf. And before we get to our last fact, this is a quick reminder to like, share, and subscribe if you're enjoying the video.
When you arrive in Stirling and wander the streets, you might notice a recurring symbol ingrained in the local architecture. On buildings, as a painting or statue, the Stirling wolf is a revered piece of folklore few people know about. There's a legend that long ago in the 9th century, Stirling, then a mere town, found itself under the threat of Vikings. These notorious sea raiders had only one thing in mind: to conquer and pillage everything in their way. One evening, in the dark of night, as the town slept peacefully, a fearsome band of Vikings prepared their attack on the poor, unsuspecting residents of Stirling. But these Vikings, as deadly as they might have been, were known for their stealth. So as they approached, their clumsy movements awakened a nearby pack of wolves, who began a furious howl at this disturbance, which warned the townsfolk just in time to defend themselves and repel the attack with the help of the wolves. Thenceforth, the wolf was celebrated as an iconic emblem of Stirling. And while this story is very likely a mere folktale, it's a tragic one indeed, since wolves did in fact live in Scotland long ago, but they have since all disappeared, hunted to extinction. Stirling is one of the few places in Scotland that saw the wolf not as an enemy, but an unlikely ally, and it honors it to this day as a hidden symbol of the city. But despite this amazing fact, the university did not choose a wolf as their mascot. Instead, they settled for a squirrel. And that's it for today, folks. I hope this video was informative. If you've enjoyed or want to learn more about Stirling, you know the jazz. Like, share, and subscribe. This was the Charismatic Traveler, and I'll see you in the next video.